Hello YouTubies, this is King Scribe and thank you for watching this YouTube video. Right, so I'm assuming if you're watching this video now, you've probably seen the Doctor Who episode, the recent one. Now, I'm going to be honest here. While I've never been totally overly impressed by a Christmas episode, at least this episode wasn't miserable like the previous ones. I've always felt that they've been a little bit under par with other episodes of the season, and indeed this episode didn't match the quality of other episodes this season, and it's been a fantastic season. And I think Moffat's always managed to make decent episodes of Doctor Who and made the the seasons to be pretty good, but usually there's always been that miserable factor, and it wasn't totally there. I understand that Riversong is going to be killed off at some point. At least that's what we assume. We always hear this going on. One of the characters going to be killed. Rose is going to be killed. This character, Donna's going to be killed. Blah blah blah. They're never killed. They're never killed off. What happens is the Doctor finds a way to change something or to alter what it actually means. Now, we know that Riversong is going to exist in the database of, whatever that planet was called. I forget, but we know she's going to exist in the database, and we know that Time Lords are able to use databases to bring other people back to life. So that could be one way that Moffat goes down this way. But I doubt that's going to work, by the way, but I always felt when I'm watching Stephen Moffat's ideas unfold, his master plan, so to speak, that it's not going to work out the way it should. He's saying time can be rewritten. I don't think that's acceptable. I think you've got to try to work around time, or you can alter it or change it in a way, but you can't cheat it. So you've got to find a way to write around it without destroying previous episodes. And with Riversong, if you actually save her while the Doctor sees her die, I think that's kind of a paradox, and I think that could actually be a problem. Even I can see a problem. I understand that time can be rewritten in these episodes, and I'm totally aware that that's a good thing, but I'm not. I also believe it has to be done with good writing. Like to say, Gallifrey couldn't be saved, and it's saved. That was done by good writing. But this, I feel that Stephen Moffat might actually slip up on. He might actually slip up on a banana somewhere. I'm coming up with an assumption here. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think Riversong is going to be saved, and I think everything's going to turn out all right. I think we're pretty much like with Chloe Osmond Oswald. She's off now for billions of years with that other lady who is now what they call a half-breed, or whatever she is. She is a hybrid or something. Yeah, so they're never going to really kill off these characters. So I don't think that's a bad thing either. I really don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a little bit too much to start killing characters off in Doctor Who all the time, because of who watches it, and the importance of these characters. I think you actually destroy the characters completely when you kill them off in these episodes, if they actually ever do that. What did I think of the episode? Well, there were certain points of it that I really liked. The Doctor going into the TARDIS and pretending that he didn't really know about it, and saying how amazed he was with the space, was something I always wanted to see from the Doctor. This sort of thing is clever writing. That's smart. Yeah, that's what Christmas special is. Showing new information about the Doctor and making it magical, making it a sort of mystical ideas, magical. I always wanted to see magic in Doctor Who episodes. Now, I'll be honest here, I didn't actually see too much magic in this episode. I want to see mystery in Doctor Who episodes, okay? Something about mystery. I thought the main enemy was a little bit naff, yeah? I've always thought that the enemies in these Christmas specials have been naff, but the rest of the characters did a really good job as far as I'm concerned. So while the main character's enemy was naff, the acting etc. was really good and entertaining. River Song was brilliant, and the Doctor was brilliant. So it kind of worked, and it didn't. It did feel under par with other episodes, but I did like it too. It was entertaining. It's been 10 years since this series has been up on Christmas specials. It's always had a Christmas special since 2005. So, they're competing with each other, these episodes now. Which is the best episode of all time? I mean, if I'm looking at this for a Christmas special ideology, I would have to say the one with the snowmen in was because of the stairwell going up to the TARDIS, the introduction of Clara Oswald, although she had been in the Dalek before. I thought that one worked, but they always had a little bit of misery in it. I like to see the magic. You got to make these episodes magical, something the Doctor can't explain. We saw it in the previous Christmas special. Remember with the little tangerine left on the windowsill, and the Doctor didn't know who to thank. That's the magic of Christmas. And also the start of it, where the Doctor couldn't actually explain why Santa Claus was actually there, and then Clara Oswald actually believing in Santa Claus. That's the magic of the Christmas special. I didn't see that in this episode, to be honest with you. I didn't see any magic. That seemed to be missing, so I have to mark them down on that. And it didn't feel quite as strong as previous episodes. I'm not sure why these Christmas episodes can't be better than other episodes. I'm not sure why they can't actually create something marvelous. And I always believe that these episodes should be longer. Yeah, I think they should have like a 2-hour special or an hour and a half. Maybe split it up into two, so we have one on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Now that would actually work, so part 1 and part 2. And I actually think what they should do next is revisit the TARDIS. Yeah, you got a decent TARDIS in there. Let's see inside it. Let's see a true episode inside the TARDIS that everybody's going to love. Where nobody can criticise it, where there's nothing cheaply done, where you don't use backdrops for rooms, which they did with the swimming pools. I want to see the rooms, I want to see the swimming pool, I want to see, characters having a real adventure. Maybe the TARDIS traps Santa, slaying there somehow, and they've got to fetch it, and maybe there's a roller coaster inside the TARDIS that goes into different rooms. Make it creative, make it fun, make it magical. That's what we want. Now the storyline can be thought of throughout the year until they actually make it right, but you want something a little bit longer than an hour. The episode was good. I think some people will be pleased with it, but it was still a little bit below par, and they've all been like this. All the episodes on Christmas Day have been what other people would describe as a little bit unsatisfying. Now that doesn't mean I didn't like the episode. It's one of those cases where it's like Marmite. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And this is certainly down that route. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. So, what else can happen here? Well, I've really liked the Peter Capaldi character for the Doctor. Yeah, I don't believe he was always meant to come up. All right, they needed an older Doctor. No matter what people say about River Song, they need to visit that story when the Doctor, where she sees an older Doctor in the future, so it fits into the timeline, and that's what Stephen Moffat's actually doing. He's telling the story. He's showing the future from what we were told in the past. Yeah, that's part of the magic of Doctor Who. We need to see the future. It's taken them many years to get to this point. I think 7 years. Yeah, so it's been a long time in the Doctor Who history to get to this point. I think she was first saw in 2008, wasn't she? River Song. So she's been a very long existing character. We need to see when she dies. Now, I don't believe she will die, and I don't think they should actually make her die. I think they should write around it. But then again, it has to fit the storyline. Okay, the Doctor didn't actually see River Song end, they only saw, her get fried in the chair or something. You didn't even see that, you just saw her get electrocuted. So there's always ways to actually bring these characters back. Maybe they'll use the Time Lords to upload the Matrix to make her have a corporeal form or something. I don't know, but something's going to happen to bring River Song back after that, definitely. But anyway, it's not been a terrible series. It's not been a terrible season. It's actually been really good. It's been a very strong season, one of the strongest so far. And Stephen Moffat and his team, and the writers and the producers and the directors, other ones as well, have really done a good job this season. Yeah, there's not been a weak episode, and I did enjoy the Christmas episode. I enjoyed the banter between River Song and the Doctor, and I also enjoyed the Doctor playing that. She didn't know who the Doctor was, so he played along with it. I like that too. That was a little bit magical, but it wasn't the type of magic I'm looking for in a Doctor in a Christmas special. You need that little bit of mystery. Don't forget that, writers of Doctor Who. I also believe that maybe, it's time. It's been 10 years. That next year they should have a competition for somebody to write a decent episode of Doctor Who for Christmas special and for the new year, and whoever wins it, has something good to look forward to because they've actually written a decent episode of Doctor Who. Yeah, so maybe there should be a competition out there. Stephen Moffat should drop his hat a little bit and allow the fans a chance to write an episode for Doctor Who, and that way we can actually see something interesting from the fans that many people couldn't actually even think up of. My idea would be Adventure in the TARDIS, which is what I originally said well before they actually did it. Okay, an Adventure in the TARDIS, that's what I want to see, and that's what we saw, but it wasn't up to par. But I think if you allow other people out there in the world to write episodes of Doctor Who, maybe just one for Christmas special, that would last over an hour, by the way, not a short script. It would open the gates for more imagination, and the best one could be used for the Christmas special, and that way you're bound to get a decent episode. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. See you later. Bye.